Yes, guys, welcome to our today's session. My name is Issa Ngoie. I am a Cisco, Microsoft, IBM instructor, and I'm also a lecturer. So I'm lecturing in computer science department. So today's, guys, we are going to talk about Microsoft Azure. This is our first lesson. Basically, it's AZ-900. So we are going to start with AZ-900 in order to prepare you guys to pass your certifications. This is the fundamental certifications. You need to be ready and you need to watch these lessons carefully. And beside writing your final examinations or certifications, this training will allow you also to be to work consistently with computers, basically in the cloud, not only computers, applications, networking, and storage, right? So today we're going to talk about AZ-900. So this is a Microsoft fundamental certificate, especially for cloud computing. So let me try to share my screen and we are going to start. Yeah, we are going to talk about Microsoft Azure Fundamental. So Microsoft Azure Fundamental AZ-900. So in this particular certification or training, you are going to learn about Azure itself. You are going to learn about many services that Azure can offer to you. And we are going to see some of the features. So guys, let me stop sharing. So we are going to discuss about Azure. We're going to learn about some of the services and we are going to learn about some of the features. So we are talking about cloud computing, especially Microsoft Cloud, Microsoft Azure. So we're going to talk about Azure itself, Microsoft services, and we are going to talk about some of the features, right? So cloud. For Microsoft, it's called Azure. This is what we're going to see. We're going to see some of the services and we're going to discuss about some of the features. I'm going to share again my screen. Yeah. So at the end of this particular training, you are going to learn about those 6 concepts, all right? The first one, you are going to learn about compute. The second one is networking. The third one, storage services. The fourth one, cloud security best practices. Number 5, exploring governance and management options. So guys, at the end of this training, you must be able to talk about compute, networking, storage services, cloud security best practices, exploring governance and management options, right? So guys, what you need to understand is this. We are talking about, let me try first to reduce my screen. Yes. So guys, you need to understand this. At the end of this particular training, you need to be able to understand what we call computing. So we're going to talk about compute, networking, storage services, security, governance, and management, right? So now I'm going to try to share again. Where are we? Yeah, we are here. And okay. So what does it mean by compute? So in compute, guys, we are going to talk about processing power to perform tasks, right? So this is what we are going to talk about here. So in compute, we talk about processing power to perform tasks. So you are going to learn about how to deal with computers and servers, but in the cloud. This is the meaning of compute. Number 2, networking, how to connect computers and devices in the cloud. Number 3, storage services, how to store data in the cloud. And number 4, we're going to talk about security, how to protect data and applications, even devices in the cloud. And number 5, we're going to talk about governance. What are the rules and policies you need to follow in order to manage your services, your computers, and so on? And the last one is management. How to choose your tools in order to control and organize your services in the cloud. So, guys, this is what we're going to be doing, all right? So at the end of my training, you need to understand 6 concepts for this particular certifications. So if you wanna go and write this certification, AZ-900, you need to know these 6 concepts. The first one is computing, how to handle computers and servers in the cloud. Number 2, we are talking about networking, how to connect computers, servers, devices in the cloud. Number 3, it's about security, how to protect data, services, applications, devices, computers in the cloud. Number 4, it's all about storage, how to store data in the cloud. Number 5, it's all about governance. What are the policies? What are the rules you need to follow when it comes to protect your data? And the last one, number 6, is management. What are the tools you need to choose in order to control and organize your device, your data, your services, your applications in the cloud? Yes, guys, very easy to understand, right? So at the end of my training, you must be able to understand those 6 concepts and you must write them down. All right. So, and if you want to go and write your test, your certifications, your AZ-900, you must put here those 6 concepts. So at the end of this training, everyone must be able to understand computing, number 1, networking, number 2, storage, number 3, security, number 4, governance, number 5, management, number 6, in the cloud. So we're talking about computing in the cloud, how to manage, how to handle computers, servers in the cloud, in Azure. Number 2, networking, how to connect computers, how to connect devices in the cloud, in Azure. Number 3, storage, how to store data in the cloud, in Azure. Number 4, security, how to secure people, how to secure data, how to secure services, how to secure computers, how to secure servers, how to secure applications in the cloud, in Azure. And number 5, governance. What are the rules? What are the policies you need to follow when it comes to your services in the cloud, your applications in the cloud, in Azure? And the last one is management. How to manage your data, or what are the control, what are the tools you need in order to manage your services, your IT infrastructure in general. All right. So you can see that just now you have an idea of what we are going to be doing. You have an idea of AZ-900, of Microsoft Azure Fundamentals. So when somebody talks about Azure Microsoft Fundamentals, guys, it's very easy to understand and it's very easy to explain. And even when you are looking for a job, even when you are going for your interview, it's very easy to explain. Microsoft Azure Fundamentals talks about compute, number one, how to handle computers, servers in the cloud. Number two, it talks about networking, how to connect computers, how to connect devices in the cloud. Number three, it talks about storage, how to store data in the cloud, right? In Azure. Number four, it talks about security, how to secure data, how to secure computers, how to secure applications, how to secure servers in the cloud. And number five, it talks about governance. What are the rules? What are the policies when it comes to deal with applications, data, computers, and so on? And the last one, number six, it's management. What are the tools you need in order to manage, to organize your services, your data, your applications, your computers in the cloud, right? Very exciting, guys. Very easy. And when you know those six concepts, it's very easy to become an expert in cloud computing, right? Because those are the things we do physically, but now we're gonna do them in the cloud, all right? Okay, let me try to share again my screen. Yeah. Now, guys, we are going to do some of the practicals. And in order for us to do practicals, we're going to use what we call a sandbox. A sandbox, this is just an Azure portal environment. It's like a platform for creating cloud resources, right? So it's a platform for creating, for practicing how to create cloud resources. It's Azure platform or Azure portal environment, a sandbox, right? So guys, we are going to start learning how to create resources, how to manage them, how to use them in the cloud. And for that, there is a platform, there is a portal, there is an environment that will allow us to do so. We call it a sandbox. This is an Azure platform or Azure portal environment for creating cloud resources. Okay, let me share again. Yes. Now, when it comes to certifications, for you to go and write your AZ-900, those are the domain you need to understand. The first one talks about describe cloud concept. You need to understand some of the cloud concept that we are going to talk about. It's between 25 and 30%. The second one, describe Azure architecture and services. It's between 35 and 40%. And the last one, describe Azure management and governance, 30 to 35%. So those are the domain, the way the weighting will be, right? So now let's talk about cloud computing. What is cloud computing? Right? So we're going to talk about now cloud computing. What is cloud computing? For us to understand what is cloud computing, we need to understand first what is a cloud. So when we talk about cloud, you must have an idea of something that is very far. There's a concept of far, there's a concept of distance, right? So when we talk about cloud, you need to see something that is very far. You must understand that there is a distance. And when we are talking about computing, we are talking about operations, right? We're talking about tasks like operations. This is the meaning of computing, right? Now, when you add those two, you're gonna have like cloud computing, right? So it means the operations done in distance. Operations done in distance, right? So you can see that when we talk about like cloud computing, we are talking about some of the operations that's going to be done via distance. It's going to be done in distance, right? let me stop sharing. So guys, we are talking about cloud computing. We want to define what is cloud computing. First, you need to understand what is a cloud. When we talk about cloud, you must see something that is very far. There is a concept of distance, far. And when we're talking about computing, we're talking about operations. Now, when you combine cloud computing, you're going to get operations done in distance. So in cloud computing, we are talking about operations, and those operations will be done in distance, via distance. All right? But there are so many definitions, but I like short definitions. You can also define cloud computing as using someone else's computer to perform tasks. All right? So cloud computing can also be defined as using someone else's computer. All right? Let me write it down here. It can using someone's else's computer. All right? So cloud computing, it's also using someone's else. Oh, maybe I was not sharing. Okay. Let me share first. So cloud computing, you can also say that it's meaning what? Using someone's else computer, right? But you can also define again cloud computing as access of resources and services using the internet, right? So there are so many definitions that you can use. Now, uh, Microsoft Azure, this is a cloud computing for Microsoft, right? This is just cloud computing for Microsoft. So guys, we're talking about cloud computing, and you can see that we do have so many definitions. The first one, when it comes to cloud computing, we can say those are the operations done in distance. What are the operations? Like using computers, manipulating data, like accessing services, accessing applications, and so on, right? You can also define cloud computing as using someone else's computer, right? Or using services and computers via the internet, right? You can also say that cloud computing, it means renting someone else's computer. It's also renting someone else's computer. Those are the basic concepts of cloud computing, right? So guys, I think for this first lesson, this first part, I'm going to stop here. Let me summarize, guys. We spoke about cloud computing, and the cloud computing we're talking about today, it's Microsoft Azure. This is the name, Microsoft Azure, right? And this is the training. It's a fundamental training for those who are going to write the certification called AZ-900, right? But not only for certifications, even engineers, system support, help desk support, IT technicians, network engineer who want to develop their skills when it comes to cloud computing. And for this particular training, you need to summarize, you need to understand this. For today, what did you learn? You've learned that at the end of this training, or by doing Microsoft Azure course, you need to understand that you are going to be learning 6 concepts. At the end of this training, you must be able to do and to manipulate and to explain those 6 concepts. The first one we spoke about, it's compute, how to handle computers and servers in the cloud. So you must be able to handle computers and servers in the cloud, not physically. This is the meaning of compute. Number two, it's networking. How to connect computers, servers, devices in the cloud, not physically. Number three, it's storage. How to store data, not physically, but in the cloud. Number four, it's about security. How to secure data, computers, services in the cloud. And number five, it's all about governance. What are the rules, policies you need to follow by using those services, those computers, those data in the cloud? And the last one is management. What are the tools? What do you need in order to manage and control or organize services, data, computers, applications in the cloud, right? And we did define what is cloud computing. This is renting someone else's computer, or maybe you can say those are the operations done in distance, or using someone else's computer, or accessing computers, resources, services via the internet. Those are the definitions of cloud computing, right? So guys, whatever you do, even when you are drafting your CV, when it comes to cloud computing, when you say that you know about computing, you know about networking in the cloud, you know about storage in the cloud, you know about governance in the cloud, you know about management in the cloud, security in the cloud, you are the best candidate ever. That shows that you didn't just memorize questions and do and write the certifications. You know what is cloud computing, because those fundamental knowledge will allow you to build strong knowledge or skills when it comes to Azure or cloud computing. When you know about computing, networking, storage, security, governance, and management in the cloud, that's all. That's all. Even if you change the certifications, you need just to learn more stuff for those six concepts. They won't gonna change, still the same, but you are going to go deeper, right? So thank you very much. See you. We are going to meet in our next lesson.